It starts with a flicker. The screen in your hand, your portal to the world, suddenly goes dark. A moment of confusion turns to frustration. But this isn't just your phone. Across the city, a silent, invisible plague is spreading. The electric car you rely on is dead in the street. Traffic lights are frozen, causing chaos at every intersection. In hospitals, life-saving equipment begins to fail. The global financial system, a complex dance of ones and zeros, grinds to a halt. This isn't a scene from a disaster movie. It's a glimpse into a world that has lost its digital heartbeat, a world where everything we depend on stops working. And the single point of failure for this entire house of cards, a tiny, intricate slice of silicon, the semiconductor, the chip. For decades we took them for granted, the unseen engines of progress. But now these marvels of engineering have become the epicenter of a new global conflict. A silent war fought not with soldiers and tanks but with export bans, corporate sabotage and technological blockades. This is the Great Chip War, and it has just entered its most dangerous and unpredictable phase. The battle lines are drawn, and at the center of this storm are four colossal players. There's the United States, the established tech superpower, now using its political might to cut off its rivals at the knees. There's China, the rising dragon, pouring hundreds of billions into a desperate quest to break free from foreign technology. Then there's ASML, a secretive Dutch company that holds a global monopoly on the one machine essential for creating the most advanced chips on Earth. And finally, TSMC in Taiwan, the world's foundry, precariously positioned in the world's most dangerous geopolitical flashpoint. What's unfolding is far more than a simple trade dispute. This is a struggle for the very soul of our technological future. It's a battle for power, the power to build smarter weapons, to deploy more intelligent AI, and to hold economic leverage over the entire planet. It's a battle for survival. For nations, the inability to secure advanced chips means being left vulnerable, economically crippled, and technologically irrelevant. And ultimately, it's a battle for control. The nation that controls the design and production of the world's most advanced semiconductors will write the rules for the next era of human history. They will decide who gets access to the future and who gets left behind. This is the story of how a humble piece of sand became the most valuable and contested resource on Earth. A story of immense ambition, high-stakes espionage, and a technological arms race that is already reshaping our world in ways we are only beginning to understand. In Washington, D.C., a new kind of war is being waged. The U.S. has been systematically tightening restrictions on China's access to advanced chip-making tools. This isn't just a trade dispute. From the Pentagon's perspective, it's a critical matter of national security. The fear is that China could leverage the world's most advanced semiconductors to develop superior artificial intelligence and next-generation weaponry, shifting the global balance of power, the weapon of choice. A complex web of export controls meticulously crafted to halt Beijing's technological ascent. At the heart of this conflict are a handful of companies that hold the keys to the digital kingdom. These are the global choke points in the semiconductor supply chain, now caught in an intense geopolitical crossfire. In the Netherlands, there's ASML, a company with a global monopoly on the single most important piece of equipment in chip manufacturing. And in Taiwan, there's TSMC, the world's largest and most advanced contract chip manufacturer, producing the vast majority of cutting-edge processors for clients like Apple and Nvidia. The most critical choke point is a technology called extreme ultraviolet lithography, or EUV. These machines, each the size of a city bus and costing over $200 million, are the only tools capable of etching the microscopic circuits for the most powerful chips. After a prolonged diplomatic pressure campaign, Washington successfully convinced the Dutch government to block ASML's state-of-the-art EUV machines from being sold to any entity in China. Without EUV, China's ambition to produce the most advanced chips is, for now, completely stalled. But the restrictions don't stop at the cutting edge. They are designed to systematically cap China's existing capabilities. A prime example is TSMC's fabrication plant in Nanjing. This facility, which produces less advanced but still vital legacy chips, recently lost its special export status from the US Commerce Department. This means that after a grace period ending in 2025, the flow of US tools and components needed to maintain and upgrade the factory will be severely restricted. The screws are tightening across the entire ecosystem. For a nation with grand ambitions to become a global technology leader under its Made in China 2025 blueprint, these moves are seen as a direct assault. Beijing has responded by pouring tens of billions into its domestic semiconductor industry, urging companies like SMIC to achieve breakthroughs, but the technological gap remains vast. From Beijing's perspective, this is not a targeted set of rules to protect security. It is a deliberate campaign of technological strangulation designed to keep China one step behind permanently. But China is not sitting idle. Billions are being poured into domestic chip manufacturing, and now reports suggest Beijing is pressuring ASML and TSMC directly. The message is blunt. If you cut us off, we'll cut you off. This isn't just economic posturing. China is the world's biggest chip customer, and cutting off ASML and TSMC could shake the entire industry. It was a high-stakes gamble, a cornerstone of the America First agenda. Donald Trump, championing aggressive tariffs, declared economic war on China. The goal, curb Beijing's technological ascent and bring manufacturing back to US shores. By targeting Chinese tech giants and imposing sweeping tariffs, the administration aimed to reassert American dominance. But this bold strategy triggered a cascade of unintended consequences, revealing a critical vulnerability at the heart of America's own tech empire. The global semiconductor supply chain is a modern marvel, but it's also astonishingly fragile. It's an intricate web stretching across continents. Raw materials are mined, refined into hyper-pure silicon wafers, and shipped to Taiwan. There, in the world's most advanced foundries, wafers are etched with billions of transistors using designs from California and machinery from the Netherlands. A disruption at any single point, a geopolitical flare-up or a new tariff, can send shockwaves through the entire system. This is the precarious reality for America's most iconic companies. Tech titans like Apple, Tesla, and Nvidia may design the world's most powerful chips, but they don't actually make them. They are critically dependent on foreign companies, primarily TSMC in Taiwan, the king of contract chip manufacturing, and ASML in the Netherlands, which holds a monopoly on the extreme ultraviolet lithography machines required for the most advanced semiconductors. Without them, the innovation engine of Silicon Valley would sputter. And so the paradox became painfully clear. The policies designed to kneecap China's tech industry ended up shining a harsh spotlight on America's own dependencies. The tariffs and restrictions meant to be a shield were now acting like a cage. Instead of crippling China, the trade war spurred Beijing to pour unprecedented billions into achieving semiconductor self-sufficiency, creating a more formidable long-term competitor. The strategy had backfired. The weapon aimed at an adversary was now threatening to corner the one who wielded it. Suddenly, the conflict was about far more than just microchips. It escalated into a battle for the future of global leadership. The struggle for semiconductor supremacy is the central arena in the geopolitical contest between the United States and China. The nation that controls these foundational technologies will hold the keys to 21st century power, dominating everything from artificial intelligence to military hardware. This is no longer a trade dispute. It's a fight for who will write the rules of the new technological world order. Analysts estimate the chip war could impact hundreds of billions of dollars in global trade. Every smartphone, every data center, every AI system depends on this fragile ecosystem. If China cuts off TSMC and ASML, it's not just the US that suffers. The whole world feels the shockwaves. So here we are. The US is cornered, China is pushing back harder than ever, and the global chip war, it's only just beginning. The question is, who will blink first? Because if neither side does, the future of technology, maybe even the world economy, hangs in the balance.